All right, Heavy Metallurgy, it is time for a showdown with the new album from Mega Colossus.
We seek the truth through history. Forever search.
Hello, Heavy Metallurgy. My name is Alan, and I'm here today to talk about the new Mega Colossus album. It's coming out January 19th on Cruz del Sur Records. This is a band from Raleigh, North Carolina, and they're releasing their fourth album overall, but their first on the very respectable Cruz del Sur label. If you're not familiar with Mega Colossus, and how can you not be familiar with a band with a name as cool as that? Yes, if you're wondering, they used to be called Colossus. Other bands also went by Colossus. So instead of just change their name to something completely different, they essentially figured out a way to make it clear that they were the one true Colossus because they're mega. Gotta love that mentality. Anyway, you can probably guess by the band's moniker, but they play US power metal. Yeah, somewhere in that traditional metal, but leaning in a power metal direction. And yes, there's a little bit of European power metal flavoring mixed in here. If you want some decent reference points, to me, the band sounds similar to the two most recent albums from Twisted Tower Dire. Both of those are great listens. But take that Twisted Tower Dire template and mix in a healthy dose of Dragon Force. Then Dragon Force comparison, understand. It is the fun aspects of Dragon Force, but you're reining in all the sort of ridiculous over the top speed and some of the cheesiness to it. So take the better elements of Dragon Force, combine them with, the very strong style of Twisted Tower Dire in recent years, and you've got a formula that I'm definitely interested in checking out. All right, so now that we've got the style nailed down, how are these guys performance wise? Well, the vocalist is in the tradition of US traditional power metal vocalists. American bands tend to stick to a just, straightforward, strong, clean singer. And that's exactly what Mega Colossus has on board as well. I think it's a good thing that US bands go with this vocal style overall. They don't tend to be as flamboyant or quirky or over the top as bands maybe from Europe. But I think that plays it to their advantage because it kind of keeps the cheese factor down quite a bit. You know, when you're associated with, power metal leanings, a lot of people right away kind of get very antsy thinking that, the project's going to be very corny. Having a good solid vocalist who's kind of no nonsense but has a good voice, I think that goes a long way to kind of allaying people's fears that your project is going to be too goofy for them to enjoy or take seriously. Other things in terms of performances, yes, you're going to have some hotshot guitar work here throughout, and that's a good thing. I've never quite understood heavy metal fans that don't appreciate good guitar work. It's okay to have fun with the six string. You absolutely should. Back that up with a very solid rhythm section, and yeah, the performances across the board are absolutely fine here. Something else to keep in mind as we start to think about the songs from Mega Colossus, this band has built a reputation in terms of their lyrics for featuring a lot of science fiction themes, fantasy themes, and just overall general nerd culture material. They've done songs inspired by things such as Final Fantasy, the Redwall series of kind of like fantasy children's books from the UK, which I'm not sure how I know that, but I do. Yay me. Uh, and on the new album, we'll see that yes, they've kind of continued that trend. So again, there's fun to be had with the lyrics. This is in general a relatively lighthearted project, not in terms of musical delivery, just in terms of yeah, the band is having fun. They want the listener to have fun. Songs don't have to all be about gloom and death and corpse defilement. It's okay to have fun with your heavy metal. So, what do we hear as we get going here? Lots of songs with, insta catchy hooks. That is very much Mega Colossus's bread and butter. They're going to write earworms. They're going to stick with you whether you want them to or not. The song construction and the general catchiness that they're employing is almost reminiscent of styles such as, pop punk or even a little bit of metalcore. Don't stop the video there. This is not a metalcore band. This is not a Green Day clone or anything. I'm just saying the band knows how to write very strong melodies. They know how to create those hooks that are going to stick with you, similar to what bands in those styles are known for doing. But no, this is absolutely a heavy metal release. And it features some very strong songs. The album opens up right off the bat with the best track by far. It's called Fortune and Glory. And if you're not catching the reference there, this is the band's ode to Indiana Jones. They have fun with it. Little, maybe just a little kind of rip off sound clip there at the very end of the track. Great way to start the album. The song's insanely fun. It's instantly memorable. You'll be singing it and humming along to it for days afterwards. Great way to start the album right out of the gate.
Each careful step we cross the line, each artifact and every vine tells its own story. Through every trial we faced again.
All right, after Fortune and Glory, the album kind of goes from strength to strength. Track number 2 is Outrun Infinity. This is another banger. It's got some kind of fantasy or science fiction theme to it. I don't have the lyrics available at the time of this recording, so I'm not sure what particular novel, movie, or series it ties into, but there's something going on there. Maybe one of you can tell me in the comments down below what they're paying homage to with the lyrics of Outrun Infinity. But the song starts off with a really slick, almost neoclassical kind of guitar solo. It tells you right away that yes, you're moving into another absolutely stellar song here. All right, after the first two tracks, it does feel like the album kind of settles into its paces for the next few songs, but you do get one more standout track near the end with the track called Wicked Road. This one begins with sort of just an acoustic, all the guys singing along to the chorus of the song. You know how this template's going to play out. This is the song where the audience is all supposed to have their hands up in the air like they just don't care, but you wish you were there so that you could sing along too. Very catchy, very memorable kind of crowd pleasing anthem. It works incredibly well here. It may sound a little cliche. We've heard lots of bands do these types of songs in the past, but Mega Colossus deliver a very good one here. I like it quite a bit. It's, the highlight from the last half of the album.
See the truth and all the lies. Kill the past and leave behind all your sorrow and begin again. Begin again.
So, yeah, and really there aren't any bad songs on the album. You have three standouts, and the remaining three tracks are, also decent enough. So, I've said a lot of very good things, been very positive about the album so far. There are a few things that I think, detract a little bit from the album, however. The first thing is that there are only 6 songs on the record, and it clocks in at about 37 minutes. So each song's are in the, 6-minute mark. That itself is not a problem. The songs move along well enough, and there's enough energy that keeps them going. So I'm not worried about the length of the songs. It's just that 6 songs in 37 minutes feels a little bit short. I really do think the album would have benefited from having one more track. Put one more song on there and you got 7 songs in 42 minutes, and I think it'd be a more satisfying listen. With 6 tracks and, under the 38-minute mark, it almost feels like a mini LP as opposed to a full-length album, which is what it's being marketed as. So, a little bit short, could have used one more track. And again, this is a band that's been around for almost 20 years, so it's not like they're a bunch of rookies that didn't have any more material ready. I think they could have, put together one more solid song and rounded the album out nicely. A second point of contention here is the title track is a little bit of a letdown. And when your album is called Showdown, you really want that title track to deliver something good. You generally want the title track to be one of the album centerpieces for most records anyway, but especially when that song and that album are called Showdown. You need that song to be kind of epic or to build some tension or, have a little bit of grandeur about it. And this song doesn't quite come together. It's my least favorite one on the album, actually. The real problem is the chorus. uh, the band's very good at writing catchy choruses again, but this one just doesn't quite get there. Uh, Even lyrically, it feels like they're stumbling a little bit. They're going for sort of an easy rhyme. I don't know. It almost feels like they've kind of forced the concept a little bit, that they didn't really have a strong lyrical idea to put it over the top. And as such, without the strong chorus, the rest of the song just doesn't, it's not able to carry the weight without that. So a little bit of a bummer that the showdown didn't really go down and isn't a throwdown. It's almost a throwaway. And I'm being a little harsh on it. It's still an okay song, but it's not, one of the highlights that you would hope it would be. Last thing that I feel I've got to point out, and I feel a little bad doing so, but the cover art leaves me wanting a bit. The background in particular behind the, zombie skeleton gunslinger guy, the art in the background almost looks like something you would have seen in a 1980s era Sunday paper comic strip art. There's nothing wrong with that style inherently, but I feel on a full album like this for a band that's been going, since 2008, and now they're on, a noteworthy label, I'm sorry, but that art direction feels rather amateurish to me. I'm a little disappointed that Cruz del Sur didn't put a stronger cover image on this album. I will put it this way. If I knew nothing about Mega Colossus and I was just flipping through CDs in the local record store, seeing what new titles were out, if I saw this piece of cover art, I would not stop and look at the album. It'd be like, don't know what that is, probably some local band. And I would flip right past it and keep going. So, yeah, a little disappointed that they didn't get a better cover image. Cruz del Sur, you have lots of great album art on a lot of great releases. We can probably do a little better than that. And again, I don't mean to slag on the artist here either. That art style would work for some things. And I get that Mega Colossus is not a band that's meant to be, uber serious all the time. They don't need some dark, grisly, realistic cover art or anything like that. But they need something that's a little more eye-catching. Again, you want people to spot this, notice this, stop, and consider purchasing it. And I'm not sure this piece of cover art is really helping the cause. But maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just, being a little bit of a nitpick here. Overall, Showdown is still a fun listen and a good solid release. I like the release. I think Mega Colossus can do better, though. I am hoping that this album basically serves to prove to Cruz del Sur that the band can deliver really solid music, but that when they have a chance to follow it up, they're going to release that career defining statement that I think the band is capable of. They've paid their dues, they've put in their time, they've got the chops to do it. So I'm really looking forward to see where they can build from here. They've got a good release right now, but next time I'm hoping for something even better. All right, that is going to do it for this review of Mega Colossus Showdown. What do you think? Are you familiar with the band? Do you like their style? Is this a little too far out of your wheelhouse? Do you like Showdown? Have you had a chance to hear it yet? Are you planning to pick it up? Leave a comment down below. Let folks know your thoughts. If you like some of their other titles, let people know in the comments below what other Mega Colossus albums they should or shouldn't look to pick up. But for now, that is going to do it from my end. Until next time, everybody take care. Check out more content on the Heavy Metallurgy YouTube channel. And as always, keep banging your head.